ARK Survival Evolved has another update. Surprise, surprise. These developers have been working on ARK and Atlas so much, they've just been grinding out to make the game so much better. And today we have an update that could change ARK Survival Evolved forever. I'm going to go over it today. We're going to look at the community crunch that they made on it, and we're going to discuss all the good and bad things that could really come from it. Obviously, I'm super optimistic, and I'm thinking that this update is going to be very good for the game and just for the players themselves. But let's take a look at this community crunch to see what the developers said. So you guys might have already seen this. The other day they posted this and then they just updated it recently, and pretty much in this community crunch they were just saying Happy New Year, but then the other day they updated it with the public beta and extinction transfers along with the Xbox Game Pass. So this is a lot of new news for us today, and we're going to take a look at what they said here. So first off, they said Happy New Year and all that stuff, and they are going to be grinding on ARK and making a lot more updates for the game along with Atlas. Also, they talked about the Structures Plus and the Kibble rework, which they're going to be working on this year. So it looks like they're going to be introducing a new public beta on PC so that you guys can check out the new S Plus mod and the Kibble changes. And they're doing this just to make sure that players, they enjoy it and they think it's a good addition to the game. And if the public beta isn't really a success, then I guess they will not implement it into the game. Anyways, the thing that you guys probably are here for, extinction transfers, they are opening soon. If you don't know what extinction transfers is, in this little article they talked about it. So they said, we've been getting a lot of questions about this lately, and rightfully so. We will be opening a server transfer on our official servers to extinction on January 15th. There will be no transfer restrictions on creatures. So it looks like all the servers for extinction are going to be open up to the center, the island, Ragnarok, pretty much every single server that's already available to the public. And like I said, there's going to be no restrictions on creatures, so I'm not sure if that means that Titans can go over and all the new dinos on extinction, but because they said no restrictions, I'm guessing that you can, transfer over Titans onto the older map. So now let's talk about everything that's really good about this, and then we'll talk about everything bad afterwards, but I want to start out with the good things. So everything good that could really happen from this. So the first thing is that this is going to allow a lot more PvP between servers. If they allow server transferring between Extinction and the old servers, all the new players on Extinction are going to be able to go back onto the older servers, and this can introduce a lot more PvP. So all the big alpha tribes that think that they can't be destroyed on these older servers, all the Extinction players who are new, they're fresh, they've been grinding, no one can really wipe them out, they haven't really had many big battles, they can transfer over to the older servers and maybe even wipe out the older alphas. So this would be very good. It would introduce a lot more PvP and a lot more drama into the game. On top of that, if there's a smaller tribe that is on maybe a center map, they can now transfer into the extinction map and get a lot more resources, grind up on here, and then transfer back. It's just a lot. It's really good for all the new players and the older players. That's why I think this new opening is very, very good for everyone. Another thing that is very good about this is going to introduce new dinos into the other maps. Now, the good thing about this is that it's going to expose all these other players, the older players that are on the older servers, to these new dinos. It's going to bring in a lot more PvP, and because of these new dinos that are coming, people are going to have to, I guess, shift their way of PvP to adapt to the new dinos. So a good example of this is the Titan. So when these huge Titans are going over to the older maps, nobody on these older maps has really dealt with these Titans before, because these Titans are newer and they're only on extinction. So when a Sky Titan, for example, comes over, everyone on the older maps is going to have to adapt to it, figure out a way to take it down, and just be prepared for it. And that's why I think these new dinos on the older maps are going to really help out PvP and just make the game much more fun for everyone. Okay, maybe not the people who are getting wiped by Titans, but for the most part, it's going to make it much better. Another good thing about this new update is that there are going to be a lot more methods to farm. So I know that a lot of players already do this. They may have a main base on the island server, and then they go over to the center to farm metal, or maybe they'll go over to Aberration to get a different type of resource. They have different servers and different outposts on different servers so that they can easily grind for resources that may not be available on their server. So with the new extinction opening up to all the other servers, this is going to introduce a lot of more resources. So on this new extinction map, there's a lot of element. You can go up to the element veins and get a lot of element, and this could really help out some of the older tribes on these older servers, because element is really hard to get on the older servers, but it's much simpler to get on extinction. And also, it's going to give everyone a lot more access to electronics. So electronics, you get them from Silcia pearls, and then you craft them in a fabricator on the older servers. But on these newer servers, if you kill one of these things, the enforcers, they're very easy to kill. You can get up to like 40 to 50 electronics per one that you kill. And if the servers are on like 3 times, it's even better. So these electronics are very useful because you can craft a lot of turrets. And if you go over to extinction just for a couple hours, maybe you're on like a wyvern or something from an older server, you can get like over thousands of electronics. And that would help out a lot of players, because the silica pearls, although they are really good for making electronics, they're not the quickest thing. And once they are collected, they take a while to respawn. So this is going to help out a lot of the older players with the new methods to farm on extinction. Also, with this new update, it's going to allow a lot more tribes to join extinction. So obviously anyone can join extinction right now, there's a lot of players on it still, but it's just that these bigger tribes, they're dominating the smaller tribes. And because there's only a certain amount of extinction servers you can transfer into, all these big tribes are focusing on the smaller tribes because they have no one else really to raid or PvP. So what they're going to be doing now is these bigger tribes, they'll have more opportunities to go over to the old servers and fight with different people and different tribes, and they won't only be focusing on the smaller tribes on their server. And because of this, a lot more small tribes can join, have fun, play on extinction without, I guess, the pressure of the big alphas just focusing on them, because they'll have other servers to focus on. So obviously there's a lot of good things, but there has to be some bad things. There's just as many bad things as good things, in my opinion. So some of the bad things are, if the Titans, they transfer over to these older servers, the other server tribes, they won't have prepared for them and they won't know how to deal with them. Because everyone on extinction, they grew up with the Titans and they were grinding when there were Titans there, and they kind of knew how to defend against the Titans. You know, it's really hard to, but people have adapted and made bases where Titans can't really reach. But on these older servers, people made these bases like sometimes even years ago, and they would not have known where to make a base to make sure that Titans can't get to it. So this is going to make it much harder for these older tribes to really, I guess, fight against these Titans. But another bad thing, turrets. These things will be much easier to obtain server-wide. Because extinction is being opened up, now electronics is much more easily accessible, as I said earlier, and that means that the older tribes, they're going to be grinding on these servers and getting a lot more turrets. So now all the servers are going to have a lot more access to turrets, and turrets are just going to be so overpowered. Obviously, it's not just turrets, you know, anything that uses electronics, it's going to be much easier to get now, because electronics are much easier to get on extinction. And I know there is still the 100 turret, I guess, limit, but people can still make a lot of outposts, and you could literally make hundreds of outposts all around the map because there are so many more turrets. Another bad thing is that there are going to be a lot more types of dinos and different extinction items on these other maps. So the only bad thing about this is it may lead to an unbalance in PvP. So now that extinction is coming over and it's going to be available for everyone to go on to, cryopods are going to be available everywhere, enforcers, titans, managarmas, pretty much every dino and item in extinction is going to be available. So this may lead to an unbalance in PvP because the older servers, they won't really know how to use or I guess obtain these cryopods, and then new people from extinction are going to be coming out with cryopods, throwing down Rexes, Gigas, and people are going to be like, what the heck is this? How do I defend against this? So it may lead to an unbalance in PvP, or it may just be better for everyone, so I don't know about that. So now that the extinction tribes are open, the last bad thing is that extinction tribes, they may transfer out of their map due to the corrupted dinos, or maybe just a lack of resources. So they may not want to stay on the extinction maps anymore, and these tribes, they're going to be able to go over to any server that they want to. So this is going to cause a lot of problems because all these big tribes, they're going to try to cram into the other servers, and then maybe there's already a big tribe on these other servers, and then there's going to be a lot of fighting, a lot of battles, and that is good, but at the same time, these servers may get very packed, and I don't really know. So it could be bad, it could be good. I mean, there may just be no big tribes on Extinction, and only everyone's on the other servers, and Extinction is only used for farming. Who knows? Like, there could be a huge, I guess, flaw to this, but at the same time, we can't tell at the moment. Like, it could go really good, it could go really bad. Who really knows? For example, Aberration, when this was opened up to the public and anyone can transfer to and from it, Aberration, like, there's not many big tribes on Aberration. Like, it's just not a good map to stay on. Extinction, it is much better, but at the same time, I don't know, people could go over to the other maps. So that was my opinion. I tried to stay unbiased as possible. You know, I was trying to stay optimistic, look for the good, look for the bad. And now let's talk about the last thing here on this community crunch, which is the Xbox Game Pass. If you guys don't know what this is and you're a console player, pretty much the Xbox Game Pass, it allows you to pay $10 a month, and then you get a huge selection of games to play and try out. So it looks like ARK, it's going to be joining the January's Xbox Game Pass. So now if you pay $10 a month, you can get access to hundreds of games. I'm not really sure if the DLCs are coming onto the Xbox Game Pass. I'm guessing it's not going to, just because those are separate DLCs. But it looks like for $10 a month, if you guys don't have ARK already, you can purchase it now. Or if you just want to try it out, you don't really want to pay the full, whatever it is, $60 or $30. I'm not sure how much ARK is on Xbox at the moment, but now you can try it out for $10 for a month if you want to get the hang of it and just see if you really like it. But anyways, guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications if you want to get notified whenever I make a new ARK or Atlas video. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video, hopefully soon. Peace.